Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and it has been a very long time since I've said those words. And yeah, for real though, it's been the longest span since I started recording videos. I don't know how many years ago now, but it is the longest span I've had without making a video. And the main reason why, I've just been busy, and I wanted to reach my goal. And my goal was getting Scarab Lord. Ever since Classic WoW came out, that was my penultimate goal. I had to become a Scarab Lord, and I wanted to make sure that got done because every single year in WoW, I would see the one guy that had a Scarab Lord mount, and I'm like, man, I will never be able to do that event because it's gone. I wanted to do the event mostly just to see it and everything and partake in it, and I looked at somebody every year. I would see him in the battleground, open world, whatever it may be. I'd be like, never going to be able to do that. But sure enough, when Classic released, I decided that's what I absolutely had to do in the span of Classic. If I was going to achieve anything, it would be that, and we did it. So a few months back, now, in hindsight, it wasn't necessary, but a few months back, I decided the best thing I could do for myself was grind as much gold as possible to give myself a huge advantage so I could just buy as many fragments as necessary should it come down to that. So I set a goal for myself of 50,000 gold a few months back. And sure enough, we met it. And then we did it faster than we expected. So we're like, let's just keep going. And then by the time Encourage event started and the war effort and all that began, I had amassed about 70,000 gold. And yeah, it was a lot more than anticipated. And so what I ended up doing was first week, the guild funneled all the fragments to me, and then I spent around 25 to 30,000 of the gold that I had buying some at ridiculous prices the first week, but it made sense because people thought the war effort was going to go fast. Now, in hindsight, I had all the time in the world because who knew Fairbanks, of all servers, being like fourth largest, was going to take one of the longest war efforts possible. We actually, I think, as a server, amassed the most amount of Scarab Lords across any server, I think. And not positive, but at least Wowhead made a post about it. There's 47 on our server, and I don't even think that accounts for all of them because I was looking through the list, and I know at least one Scarab Lord that isn't on the list, but I'm sure the number's closer to like 3 to 4 that aren't actually on the list, and we probably have over 50 on the server. And 4 of those are in the guild that I'm in. So we originally decided from the beginning we were going to aim for 3, but then once we finished the third, another guy is like, hey, can we do this? I think we have enough time. And we decided to band together. He purchased a large amount of fragments because the price had dropped drastically on them too, so he purchased a huge chunk, and we grinded about 50%, and he bought like 50%, so he ended up spending somewhere in the range of like 20,000 gold as well too. But it's crazy. 4 Scarab Lords. And I don't even know, I can't say this for fact either, but I think that might be the most Scarab Lords in a singular guild anywhere. I'm not sure about that, but we sure do have a lot inside our guild. Because keep in mind, all 4 of them too is 2 no mages and 2 night elf druids. So we didn't use a single human either, which means we grinded about basically another half of a 5th Scarab Lord because nobody was a human. So we could have almost had 5. But it was a crazy grind indeed. These last few weeks, I was playing a ridiculous amount, grinding so many carapaces, and I had a blast. I really, really did. I'm so glad that everybody in the guild got what they wanted. As a thank you for the first Encourage with a lot of my leftover guild gold, I decided to buy a flask for all my raid. Every single person in the raid got 1 flask. I purchased them just because I was really appreciative. of all the things I wanted to do when Classic released, that was my penultimate goal. I mean, I can't wait to raid actual Naxxramas. I honestly think that we're gonna crush it. To be fair, like we didn't practice at all. Like there was no practicing or anything. We had my guildmaster made a PowerPoint. It was very, very informative and stuff like that. And we went over it as a guild and watched it and raid, and it was a lot of fun. And but that was it. We didn't do any kind of practice in advance. I know some guilds like played on the PTR or private servers or things like that, but we didn't do any of that, and we also didn't wipe on any of the bosses. And we went in there. I mean, we died quite a bit. Several people fell over because we just didn't know some things would happen, and it was pretty funny. But as a guild, though, we crushed it. No wipes. The thing that came closest to wiping us was the bug trio, which we did absolutely last because we wanted to keep world buffs, so we just skipped them initially. And we came back and did the bug trio last, and when we killed the final guy, we stepped in his death cloud, and like it killed half the raid trying to look at the loot of the last boss. And well, we murdered each other. We got a Dark Edge of Insanity. I think that was probably server first because not many kills have killed Cthulhu yet, so I don't know. I had a blast. I achieved my ultimate goal of Classic WoW. A fun little fact about the mount that might not be known or anything yet. The Scarab Lord mount counts as like a spell when you're trying to mount on it, which is very different than any other mount, and it can be cast anywhere, any location. You can cast it in the middle of places where you naturally couldn't be able to mount, and you can cast it while you're in combat. So this is a extremely small niche advantage to the mount, but if you think you're about to drop combat, you can start pre-casting it, and the moment combat drops, you will mount up. It's pretty cool. Obviously, if you mistime it, it'll just say you cannot do that in combat, but I thought that was something neat worth sharing. I noticed it, and I tried it in a duel, and I poked the guy, and I was able to mount once I dropped combat, even though I had been casting it before I left. Thought it was cool. Something worth sharing. But just safe to say, I'm ecstatic. I'm glad that I was able to achieve what I set out to do in Classic, and I'm honestly looking forward to the future. I want to play Naxx, but I really want to play Shadowlands too. And last but not least, I honestly want to play Ashes of Creation because I'm just looking... I want a game that gives me a little bit of new lore, you know? Something fresh and exciting. And Ashes of Creation is something that I've followed closely outside of WoW. Like, I've just watched it over the years as it's progressing. And they think that they're going to be able to release it this year. So I'm very excited to see that happen, and I will absolutely record videos on it because, like I said, I enjoy fresh and exciting things when it comes to recording videos. Like, I want to record about Shadowlands. Very, very excited to do it again. You know, I love doing this. I love making videos, but I want to give things that, I don't know, I think that are helpful, you know? Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little ramble of mine, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.